light of truth, exquisite creation of perfect honesty. In this moment, and in every moment as the moment unfolds, it's perfection, being here. The truth of love is all that exists. The truth of harmony, the truth of joy. Nothing else is actually existing. For the mind that has made a separate life, a separate identity, the realization that only love exists, only love is real, is truly beyond comprehension. This is why trust, faith, is essential. For all these lifetimes, you've walked in the belief of separation. And you've walked in the belief that eventually you would figure out your life. You would get a handle on it. And then sometimes you would enter into a pretense that you thought you were getting a handle on it. The games of the ego are endless, except for the heart that is stirred and is called to remember what is real, what is true, what is honest. In the belief of separation, self-deception is the norm. And to begin to put faith, put trust in the sacred teachings that have brought the light of God to humanity, to turn toward love, to turn toward the light, and turn away from the concepts of separation and the agreements of separation, is the courage that opens you to the true purpose of incarnation. You've walked lifetimes in the darkness, in the belief of an illusional life, a delusional life, where protection, power, and deception seem normal. And then the heart begins its journey of love. And every beloved must learn to rely on the sacred teachings and the divine wisdom of the healing light. No one is left without the means of remembering. But an identity that has been protected and defended is not easily relinquished in the belief of knowing. You have believed your evidence. You have believed your reactions. You have believed your experiences. You have believed your mind. You have believed what you saw, what you see, what you hear, what you experience. The courage of every beloved who has walked the path to remembering walks before you. You walk in that strength if you choose to. You follow. And in the following, you learn. You learn to accept and allow the divine alchemy of love's healing to transform your mind and open your heart. Many are called, but few listen. Eventually everyone will listen, and everyone will remember. But the call to love is the only reality within a world of illusion. And the willingness to take that leap of faith and follow. Following without a clear roadmap, without the use of your mind to figure it out and try to plan and try to know. The way of planning, the way of knowing cannot work in the way of love, because it is this knowing and this planning, this figuring out, that cannot know love, cannot meet love. Planning, knowing, figuring out is fueled by fear. And there is no fear in love. There is no fear in God. There is no fear in the truth of you. At a tipping point in the journey, everyone will raise the white flag and happily recognize, I don't have a clue, I don't have a clue how to walk. I don't have a clue the way. Thank God. Thank God I will be led. Thank God. Love is so all-encompassing. Love is so constantly helpful that it serves every beloved in every second. And all that is required of every beloved is a yes. Show me the way. Empty my mind. Open my heart. Teach me. Teach me the way of love that I have never known. Teach me. Teach me the truth of forgiveness. Teach me. Teach me the deep humility of love's presence. Teach me to look with compassion, to look with charity, to look with gentleness, and bless, and learn to bless. And every time in the journey of love when you believe you can't open more, you can't learn more, you can't follow more, you take an extra leap of faith and say yet again, deeper please, until it's all love and nothing else exists. And love constantly shows the way for those who are willing to ask. In this moment, allow through the sacred breath the willingness of the yes of the heart, the willingness to question the validity of all thoughts, and the willingness to follow as you breathe deeply and fully. And where in this day you observe the day, you observe the day and ask, where did I forget to breathe? Where did I forget to listen? Where did I forget to ask? I will now follow as I breathe, breathing with the Divine Mother and Father, and saying yes to holy union with all creation, and finding that deep willingness that you truly want to merge into love, into divine equality and holy union. You are already merged, but when you're not aware of the truth of love, we say yes to the truth. And breathing deeply, the willingness in this moment to surrender the mind, all thoughts that you may have had today that seemed confused or complex, or seem to latch on to a plan of any kind, now surrendered. Emptying the mind, the willingness to rest in God. The willingness to surrender for a moment the identity. The willingness to not know. I don't know who I am, what I am, what anything is for, how to look on anything, what anything means. I don't know. Show me. Lead me. I will follow. And continuing to breathe, breathing into the throat, willing for the throat to be open, open to love, open to receive guidance, the vibration of love, the grace of love. And breathing deeply and fully into the heart, willing to open the heart in this moment, bring the heart forward, unafraid, not willing to join in fear of protection and defense, but willing to be open, accessible, connected, offering love. And in this moment, breathing deeply, surrendering the nervous system, all the ways that the nervous system has been used in the past by the mind. The mind using the nervous system to express fear, tension, suspicion, caution, anger, now all surrendered, willing for the nervous system to be free in the light of God. And breathing deeply, surrendering the physical body into the hands of God. No longer willing to identify the little self as a body, as knowing anything, as conceiving of anything, as protecting anything. Breathing. Everything open, available to serve love. And surrendering the emotional body into the hands of God. No longer willing for the emotions to be run by the mind, the past. No longer willing to be the slave of reactions, concepts, but willing to express compassion, harmony, joy, humility, peace itself. Everything surrendered into the hands of God. And breathing. Breathing with choice as you rest in God. I'm here to love. I'm here to learn to love. I'm here in the name of truth. I'm here. And as you continue to breathe fully and deeply, letting everything rest, surrendering it all, everything, every concept, and resting in love in God, and affirming that here in the infinite circle of love we are one, one divine heartbeat of love, one divine breath of God. And breathing and allowing. This sanctuary is filled with love. Love is all that exists, all that is real. The willingness to sink into love. And breathing, allowing. This universe is all love. There is no battle. Only love exists. There is no problem. There is no separation. There is only one presence here. It is the life force of God. And it is with a willing heart to allow that life force to be the center of the universe in your heart. And breathing and allowing. That through the heart and the surrender of the mind, love can be realized. True life can be realized. Only love is real. And as you continue to breathe, surrendering all concepts of others, of out there, of differences, of limitation, of separation. Only love is real. Breathing. Every beloved who walks on the earth in the belief of separation is being called to follow the truth of love, to be led. The Divine Mother and Father lead the way, the light of the Holy Spirit illuminating everything in the willingness to follow. Calling on the Divine Mother. Divine Mother comes in so many aspects. Everywhere you look is an aspect of the Divine Mother. Queen of the forest, the oxygen within the trees, the plants, the earth. The Divine Queen of the rivers, the lakes, the ocean. The Divine Mother of the moon, reflecting the sun's presence and its light. Everywhere you look, everywhere you turn, the Divine Mother, calling, inviting, encouraging, and comforting. A rainha da floresta, I will follow where you lead. I am going where you lead me, I will go. Rainha da floresta, I will follow where you lead. I am going where you lead. Rainha da floresta, I am going where you lead. I will follow, where you lead me I will go. I am going to my mother to be healed. She takes me in her arms, and to her I must go. Rainha da floresta, I am going where you lead. Where you lead me, where you lead me, where you lead me, I will go. I will go on with my mother. Where she leads me, I must go. I am going, I am going, I am going, I am going. I am going to my Father to be healed in the heart of love. I am going to my Father, and it's true. Oh, my mother, lead me home. It's now up to you. Oh, my mother, I am coming to you, Father, let me be. I am coming to my mother, in my mother, let me be. I am going to be healed in the heart of love. I am going into love. Rainha da floresta is calling us home. Come my brothers, come my sisters, come with me, let's go. As you allow yourself to feel the call, as you allow yourself to open your heart and allow that divine light to lead you, you will never again believe in your aloneness. The aloneness that you believe in the belief of separation, is the lack of trust, the lack of honesty, and the lack of recognizing you only have to follow. You only have to walk in the footprints and the footsteps of the divine beings who came before you. You only have to ask, and you will be led. The small boat is coming always to invite you to step into the boat and let it take you. The small boat is here. It's the love, it's the light. It's the small boat of love returning you to the truth of the light. It's the opening that takes the road back to God. The Divine Mother is guiding in the small boat, is being led. I surrender to the will of the Eternal Father and Mother. Do what I cannot do. Show me the way. Open the path of light so that I can follow. And remember in my heart I am the kingdom of love, returning to love in the divine union of oneness. Vem chegando, vem chegando, vem chegando, vem chegando, a Baquinha vem chegando, a Baquinha vem chegando, e o amor à luz, e o amor à luz, Na barquinha vem chegando, na barquinha vem chegando, vem abrindo o caminho, vem abrindo o caminho de Deus nosso Senhor, de Deus nosso Senhor. A Virgem Mãe que me guia, a Virgem Mãe que me guia, a barquinha que vem chegando, a barquinha que vem chegando. Me entrego, me entrego, me entrego, me entrego à vontade do Pai eterno, à vontade do Pai eterno. É o meu coração, é o meu coração. Eu sou renho de amor, eu sou renho de amor. I surrender, I surrender. In the kingdom of love, in the truth of God. Effacement. Effacement is a golden gun. It was not easy to hold it against my head and fire. I needed great faith in my master to suffocate myself with his holy bag full of truth. I needed great courage to go out into the dark, tracking God into the unknown, trusting, and to not panic or get lost in all the startling new scents and sounds and sights where I didn't know a thing. Or lose my temper tripping over those scheming night and day around me, surrendering all judgments and following the truth of love. Effacement is the emerald dagger you need to plunge deep into yourself upon this path to divine recovery, upon this path to God. The emerald dagger that you need to plunge. Wanting to plunge a dagger or hold a gun to your head, a golden gun to your head, stares the belief of safety in the face, refuses to accept life without the truth, refuses to accept a concept of a self that has no value and no reality. I needed great faith in my master to suffocate myself with his holy bag full of truth. The great faith really begins in the not knowing. The two can't live together. Faith, trust, can't live with knowing. It's not possible. As soon as you believe you know something, you have lost the real will to live, to truly live. It was not easy to hold it against my head and fire, but every beloved who has awakened to the truth of love has held that gun, that golden gun, to their head and fired. Wanting the belief of separation to disappear. The willingness to eliminate and surrender identity. The loss of identity is not a loss at all. The loss of identity is the gain of the universe. Every beloved has been not sold a bill of goods, but certainly built a bill of goods of separation, of the belief of a separate self, and always holding on to that wish that you would finally get something out of all that work. And it's mostly pride. The pride, which is fear, that refuses to let go because of all the effort and commitment that you've given to all the lifetimes. And that it seems like a waste, as the ego would say. The ego would say it's a waste to have spent all this time for nothing. But the truth is missed in that insane assessment. The insane assessment of having wasted time is the insane assessment that time was ever real. When there is no time and it doesn't exist, what have you wasted? Do you get up in the morning and begrudge the night because you wasted it on dreams? Because you wasted 8 hours or whatever on dreams that really meant nothing? Do you berate yourself when you wake up in the morning? Do you curse the night? It means nothing. Other than, even in the night, there is still learning. Every night, while you sleep, you can ask for healing and awareness. The Holy Spirit can use all of time. And the most beautiful thing of healing while you sleep is that it demonstrates to you how little participation and cooperation is wanted from you. There are two ways that beloveds delay the truth. One is the dishonesty and the denial of wanting transformation and the willingness to give up what you think you know. But the other is the wanting to know so much that you want to be in charge of remembering. That you want to be the captain of the transformation. That you want to have a story to tell that you want to have a job to do. But in the insanity of separation, a realization that must be accepted is, I made this up. And I can't let it go. I can be willing for it to be let go. I can surrender, but I can't do the healing, because there is no doer. The divine hospital of love is merely asking you to rest in God and follow, to truly be taken and shown the divine teachings of honesty, truth, harmony, peace. And yet there's nothing that the ego finds more disturbing than the realization that it's not being asked to participate as an active participant. You're not being given a role in your healing. Second lieutenant, manager, knower. And this engenders more fear than anything else, because everyone's identity has been an upside down combination of victim and controller. They don't really regularly meet or know about each other. And yet they're both active participants in the sabotage of love. I will follow drives the ego crazy. Because all of the pride and the need to know and the need to have an identity and seem important in the fear of being unimportant, none of it works in the journey of love. Except to hold a gun against your head and fire. The golden gun of love that erases the past. The gun to your head that lovingly removes the memories of who you think you are. I needed great faith in my master to suffocate myself with his holy bag full of truth. Suffocating yourself in truth it's a blissful place. Even though the ego is screaming, I can't breathe in here. I don't like this. The heart is aware of the truth, and the pull to the truth. I needed great courage to go out into the dark, tracking God into the unknown. Into the unknown, not into the known. Not going and trying to control the known, but going into the unknown, tracking God, following God. and not to panic or get lost in all the startling new scents and sounds and sights. Not to panic or get lost is the realization of choice, of actually having the choice that your participation in healing is to allow. And when you panic or get lost in the startling sounds and sights and scents that are new and to the ego disturbing, why are they disturbing to the ego? They're disturbing to the ego because they're light. Because it's the road home to love. You can bet that the ego is not going to like it. Have no delusion that the ego would cooperate somehow. The happy learner is a choice. And in that choice of wanting to learn, of wanting to follow, in that choice, the happiness comes from the realization that you don't want anything else. And that you're trusting enough. You're putting your faith in the teachings of the masters that were sent before you. To have such gratitude for all the masters that walked before you, because it was a complete journey of love. And in the journey of love, it seems to be that it's all very self-centered at the beginning. I have to heal. I have to remember. I want out of this pain. I want out of this discomfort. I want freedom. And somewhere in the journey, everything shifts. And by then you have received so much love and you have let so much love in. And you have surrendered so deeply that you no longer are looking to satisfy the I, but you are saying yes for all of the universe. And you have expanded enough to serve that universal love and step out of the personal needs that the ego screams about constantly. That voice now is distant. The screaming isn't loud enough anymore to get your attention all the time. And you experience your not yourself, but the truth of peace and harmony and expansion of that divine service. And everything becomes a blessing. Effacement is the emerald dagger you need to plunge deep into yourself upon this path to divine recovery. It is a divine recovery, where you truly learn to breathe, where you truly learn to rest and dance and sing and love. Elimination, losing identity, is the emerald dagger. And eventually you will be so happy that this little tiny self-involved, self-attacking little identity is fading away, is losing its grip through your willingness, and that you're no longer obsessed with knowing, with getting, with winning, with proving, and its appeal is fading away. Because you've trusted, because you opened to that exquisite faith of love and you followed. You begin to recognize that the greatest gift is an empty mind. That your moments of happiness are when you don't know anything, when you're not planning, when you're not struggling to be in control of some kind, that there never is, but the willingness to recognize that when the mind is free, it fills with love. It fills with light. And it transforms into the mind of God, where nothing else exists but love. This can't be conjured up. This can't be grasped with figuring out of any kind. This is just the letting go. The yes, I will follow. I will follow where you lead. I will follow where you lead in honesty. The honesty of love, holding the golden gun to the head. Honesty is at the depth of learning. There is nothing honest in the world of illusion. It is a world built on deception. To believe that there isn't enough, to believe that you are without, to believe that you are separate, to believe that there is wrongdoing, to believe that there is good and bad and right and wrong, to believe that some have and some don't of something, is to live in dishonesty, is to live in the illusion that is deceptive, is self-deceptive. And to let self-deception go, it's the wanting to be honest, the wanting to see the truth. What the ego mind has done is learned a game of self-deception and justification for everything. And the justification is like a thief that breaks into a house and justifies that this is perfectly normal. Justifies the lies, the deception. Is it a condemnation? No. It doesn't really mean anything except that it holds you in the game of struggle, because the honesty isn't your number one purpose.
It is only the wish to deceive that makes the illusion of war. Remembering that war is anything of conflict. Whether it's a war in a country or whether it's a war in your mind, it's the same war. One is just expressed outwardly, other one is going on within and then expressed to whoever. But the war comes from the wish to deceive. And it makes an illusion of war. That's how powerful mind is in its deceptions. And how the teachings of love are the truth that come to break that spell of deception. Because once you accept that the truth is true, the truth is true, all the way, begins the road of honesty. Because the honesty is a trust. Honesty is a willingness to not be right, which is for the pride of the ego one of the greatest fears. The wanting to preserve image and self-deception through image. And yet, the light of God is constantly shining through you, with you. It never stops offering you the way. It never stops. The ease of the journey. But honesty is something that has not been developed. It doesn't exist in the world of illusion. Not at all. And one of the funniest things about an ego is the belief of the ego that it's upset because others aren't honest. But there's nothing honest in anybody. It's not possible. So it's a total projection. It's just because the world of insanity has made different levels, and the dishonesty can be put on different levels so that you can look like you're more honest than somebody else. But if you believe in illusion, there's no honesty. There's no truth. There's no reality. The most powerful honesty is I don't know. I don't know how to look on this. I don't know what this is for. I don't know how to look on and see the truth of light and love. I don't know. And in that not knowing, light opens. As soon as you accept, I don't know, not saying the words like magic, expecting I don't know to just kind of open doors just because you're saying the words, but to actually accept, I don't know. I don't know who I am. I don't know how to look on this world. I don't know what this means. I don't know. In that, healing can enter. In that honesty, miracles transform. Because you have invited in the light. Don't be afraid of the
perceived discomfort of not knowing. That perceived discomfort is the temper tantrum of the ego that has been addicted since time started. Addicted to knowing. Addicted to protection through the perception of knowing. Knowing has been your main protective shield. Except, of course, it doesn't work. So it's not a very good shield. Because all that the knowing does is take you deeper and deeper into the vortex of insanity. That's all that it does. The more you know, the deeper you are in the muck of untruth. This is why in the truth of healing, and this is one of the beautiful jokes of the universe, is that beloveds actually believe that having a higher intelligence is actually an advantage. It may be an advantage in the world of illusion, but in the world of love, it can be the greatest impediment. The use of the high mind to figure out things. The more proficient you are at manipulation and figuring things out, the deeper is your illusion of the truth. The truth doesn't use intelligence. The truth is love. The truth has no reservations and does not discriminate by your appearances, your skills, your higher learning, your intelligence, your cultural proficiencies, your quick-mindedness, all of it have no helpfulness in the world of love. The joke is that you would believe that someone with a great deal of intelligence or cultural proficiency would be quicker to wake up than someone who can't read, who can't do math. In the mysteries of love, there are no limitations. There's just willingness. And in a way that is one of the most aggravating elements for the ego, because it's counted on its excelling to be the important factor. Or that you believe that someone who is mired in a false identity, so lost that they don't have a chance of waking up, because the ones who have been really good spiritual seekers should get there first. There was a teacher that I was with for a while, and one of his jokes was, there's no greater joke than you do all this spiritual work And the beloved who shows up for the first time wakes up while you're sitting next to them. Because this breaks the trance of this identity and ideas of what a good worker you are, what a good learner you are, how dedicated you are, and how smart you are, how proficient you are. This is all the calling to that deep humility of really not knowing, and to follow the Divine Mother, to follow the Divine Father, is anyone's road, and is everyone's road. There are not those who are better equipped. The equipment doesn't come from this life. The equipment comes from the honesty, the willingness, and the acceptance of surrender and divine alchemy, wanting to be transformed, wanting to be shown the way. I will follow. Anyone can follow. There's no one standing at the beginning of the path saying, I need your ID. I need your credentials to see if you've done the right work before you step onto this path. I need to see how proficient you are in the ways of the world. That's why this beloved could wake up. Because there were no rules except the laws of God. There were no limitations. There was not a better story, a deeper healing that one could have over another. There was no limitation in love. And that becomes the honesty. The willingness to have that honesty within, of not fooling yourself, because that's the only place of delay, is fooling yourself into justification, into thinking you know something or how something should be, or figuring out something. It means nothing. I will follow is the ease, the grace of just showing up, the yes, and the willingness of honesty to no longer believe what you think you know, and the honesty within of what's running here. What am I looking for? What am I wanting? What am I playing around with? I want to be honest within. That honesty within says, I don't know. That honesty within accepts the teachings as wholeheartedly as possible. Only the truth is true. So when in honesty the teaching says, let me recognize the problem. The only problem is the belief that you are separate from God. The only problem. It doesn't matter how it shows up. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are that you believe you see in the world, or that you believe about the body, or that you believe about a circumstance. There is only one problem. You believe you're separate from God. That is the truth that is true. If you are dishonest and you cling to the problem as being something else that you know is a particular form, is a particular expression, is a particular situation, is anything, honesty isn't there. And you can come back any moment to the honesty, but the honesty has to be embraced. There is no problem. I believed I was separate. My problem is that I believed I was separate from God. And there is no problem because it's not true. There is no separation. That's the foundation of the truth. There is no problem. There's no problem to process. There is no problem to figure out. There is no problem to see what the dynamics are of who's doing what, and to understand it better so that you can build a better defense system. There is no problem. To accept this is the great courage that it takes to go out into the dark, tracking God into the unknown. That's the courage. Let me recognize the problem. I believe I'm separate from God, and it's not true. Will I accept with honesty, will I accept with great courage that there is no problem? This goes against everything of the dishonesty of this delusional world. You have spent lifetimes contemplating what you think you know and how to better understand your world. Except you can't understand insanity. And that's where it will keep always coming back to. Does this seem like blasphemy to accept that there is no problem? Because the only problem is that you thought you were separate from God and it's not true? Yes, to the ego it seems like blasphemy. It seems unbelievable. It is unbelievable to the ego. And it takes great courage to step into the unknown and follow the light of God, the honesty. To accept with honesty, I am upset only because I think I see something that is actually not there. Again, this goes against everything that you think you know, because you are determined to be right that something is there. That it gives you a reason to be upset, it gives you a reason to be disturbed, it gives you a reason to be fearful, but there's nothing there. That is when you are holding the hand of love and truly trusting. My Divine Mother and Father are promising me that there is nothing there. Who am I going to believe? The divine or my past? What I think I know or the divine? That's the honesty. Is it that you will hit the mark every time and choose honesty? Possibly not. Then you begin again and you learn from that dishonesty. You learn to begin to recognize through the power of the Holy Spirit's healing, to recognize the lies of the ego. that you want to recognize the lies so that you can make a clear choice. The choice of honesty. I could see peace instead of whatever it is that I think I see, or hear, or smell, or experience. I could see peace. That is, the truth is true. I could see peace instead of this if I choose peace. The dishonesty is, no, that's not true, and I'm right about what I think I know, about what I think I see, about what I think I experience, about what I think I react to. But the honesty is, I could see peace. Peace is here now. Am I available for it? Am I available to follow that peace, to enter that peace, to accept peace, and to choose peace instead of what I think I know? It's honesty. That's the driving energy field, the honesty. Self-deception is the home of the ego. Everything of the ego is self-deceiving. That you are a body is self-deceiving. That time is real is self-deceiving. That you are damaged is self-deceiving. That you are limited is self-deceiving. That you are without is self-deceiving. And love is calling you to the honesty of that only the truth is true. And that all the divine teachings of love are what you put your faith in. That every master is what you put your faith in, because again, it's just the same teachings of love, of harmony, of joy. It is an unknown journey. Only that. Conflict is the inevitable result of self-deception, and self-deception is dishonesty. It is not a condemnation. When in the world, when the game is played of, well, he's really dishonest, wanting for someone else to be the wrongdoer, it's all made up. Because there is no honesty in the world of illusion. It's not possible. Except when you choose to finally step out of the world of illusion and choose the honesty of love, the honesty of the truth. One of the ways that to avoid honesty is by playing the game, the ego game of I will be the judge of whether something is acceptable to me to accept as truth. It's a game that the ego plays. I'll be the decider. I've been the decider all my life. I want to be the decider. I am the decider. Instead of, I don't know anything. Show me the way. I will follow. I have to follow. I don't know the way. But love does. And I must follow. And I must ignore the fear that it engenders. Because that fear is part of the dishonest, deceitful game. The fear that says I'm not safe because, yes, in your life you've spent this lifetime, every lifetime, in deception, self-deception, and addiction. Addiction to feeling safe. Addiction to protecting the body identity. addiction to believing that you are without and that you have to get something in the world to be okay, and not accepting that the truth is true, that everything of truth is within you, that you are whole and complete. You are the light of God. Nothing has ever changed that. Nothing has ever altered the truth of oneness. These are just words until you truly accept them, and you accept this truth and deny the lies. The lies that scream, you'll be without. The lies that scream, believe in death. Believe in battle. Believe in the concept of wanting to be rescued. Because you believe that you're a victim. The refusal to believe any longer that you are a victim, that there are any victims. That's blasphemy in the world. The fear of standing in the light of who you truly are. It's a deep acceptance. It's not arrogance. It's humility. It's humility to accept that you are the light of God. It is arrogance to affirm or try to prove that you are without, that you're damaged, that you're wounded so that the ego has every right to attack. It's all dishonesty and not the acceptance of truth. To be honest is the greatest gift to yourself, because that's where the light can really shine. The moment that you find yourself not in peace, which everyone is familiar with, when you find yourself not in peace, it is the great gift to yourself to be honest. What am I believing in? What am I loyal to in this moment? What am I worshiping in this moment? Where is my allegiance in this moment? Is my allegiance to being right? Is my allegiance to the past, the familiar, because I think I know? Or is my allegiance to the truth? I cannot be hurt. I'm the light of God. Let me recognize the truth. I could see peace instead of this. I'm called to love. I don't know the way. All of that, all of those divine truths are the way to follow. It's the breadcrumbs that lead the way, all the truths, and letting them be what they truly are, and not wanting to keep choosing illusion instead of the honest truth that you are the light of God. That there's nothing to get. There is nothing to assess. There's no one to assess. There's no one to be protected from. There's no one to defend against. There's no one to win from. There's no one to get anything from. There's only the learning, the deep, deep learning to offer love. And it is a deep learning. It is a deep learning. Because in this world of illusion, love is not available. Opening to love. Mother, oh my mother, please, please come here, please. And show this child of yours who doesn't yet know how to love. That is a place of honesty. I don't know how to love, show me the way. I don't know the truth of love, show me the way. The honesty that what you have played with in this world, to honestly let the Holy Spirit show you the mistaken identity for what it is, that wasn't love, that wasn't truly helpful, that it was illusion. And the willingness, I'm here to learn. I'm here. Show me the way. I'm willing to follow. I'm willing to lose this false identity and to open to the truth of love and to accept that only truth is true. And the deep honesty within. That when you want to be honest, when you truly want the truth, it will be revealed to you. You just have to want it instead of a self-protection of some kind. But just to recognize, if you don't want delay, then it's the embracing of honesty for your own heart, to open your heart, open your mind, empty your mind, and let the heart flow in its natural state of love, where nothing else exists and there is no death. Eternally, just love. Resting, truly resting in that truth of love, in God, in the ease of following.